That's a great first moment.
What is up, everybody? It seems weird. Uh, Joe and Jessica here, the Family Flips. And if you are new to this channel watching this on the replay, who are we? What do we do?
I have no idea. It's been that kind of day.
Yeah, it's been that kind of week. But we are full-time resellers. We buy liquidated goods and amongst other things, and we sell it for profit online in here in our community in Conway, Arkansas. And this is our Wednesday live stream. It's supposed to be something about tea, but it's been that kind of week.
So we have water.
We have water. So we don't really have an agenda for today. Just get on and talk about what's been going on in our lives, connect with you guys. If you have any questions, if you're watching it live or on the replay, just put that down in the comments and we will do our best to answer those questions for you. But as you are jumping on, let us know how the quality of video and audio is. And that way we can make sure we're trying to stream from the internet today. If you've been following us the last couple of weeks, we've been having some intermittent Wi-Fi issues, and I had them out on Monday, and they're hoping that the issue is fixed for now, but ultimately they have to replace a node. I don't even know what a node is, but the node be old. So they got to replace it sometime in January.
What's up, so, Lisa? The awesome. Lamos are wherever we are. You know this.
I don't know.
I wasn't talking about yesterday. Me and Lisa.
But it's been a week. It's been a week. This week has not gone as planned.
It's been a struggle.
I've been to the doctor twice already this week because of my wrist. And I'm having some lingering issues from when I had hernia surgery back in September. So, and I'm going to have to go back to the doctor to get a CT scan. I don't know if you wanted me to give out information, but I did. It's not life-threatening. But I got to get a CT scan to make sure there's nothing major going on inside. But my doctor thinks that I just ripped my mesh. Did he say ripped? Is that what he said?
Kind of.
Yeah. He thinks I may have ripped my mesh. And now that the mesh is meshing with my body.
No, I think, once the mesh becomes like a part of your body. So when you have a hernia, you have kind of like a hole. And you have that mesh that becomes part of it. And every time you stretch or move and you're moving that muscle, sometimes it just kind of pulls. And since the mesh isn't a true, isn't part of your muscle, he's feeling some pain from that.
So I've been having a lot of discomfort, some sharp pains. And
his butt bone's connected to his wrist bone, I'm assuming, because it's like, I'm just like, man, you need to quit getting hurt.
Yeah. But I hurt my wrist originally back in October bowling. And now they think it's tendonitis. It's not broken. They didn't have to give me an X-ray, but they think it's tendonitis. The things that you don't think about when you're young. If you're in your 20s and y'all are still watching, just wait until you get to your older 30s.
I wouldn't know. I'm still in my 20s. So.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. But I'm still in my 20s. Yeah, so I guess the biggest struggle for us right now is routine. It's not even really the routine because a lot of what's been going on this week has been things that are just out of the ordinary. Yeah. Like, it's not something that happens week by week. But it does, I don't know. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, for one, I have 3 computers. I have this one back here. I have the one that we're talking on, and then I have a Mac, and it's an older generation Mac. That I cannot upgrade any more RAM, but in order for me to run the software and the amount of raw footage, that video that I need to edit for our vlogs, I'm having a hard time between the 3 computers trying to get it edited. We were supposed to, I have the next installment of like our Facebook how-to videos. I have it filmed. I just can't get it on any computer that is going to. I'm just getting really frustrated with that. So I've got that, and then we've got all this. Oh no, the internet.
Let us know how it is. You guys? We apologize.
Can you guys hear us?
Hopefully, y'all won't have any issues out there, but it said it was unstable. So
I don't know if I should keep talking.
Yeah, it's back. It says it's back.
Okay. I don't know if y'all can still hear us or not. I'm like not sure.
Yeah, they can hear us. They would have already said something if they couldn't hear us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I don't even know. Like, I don't even know where to go. Like from here, like with just all of that.
Awesome. Now we're fine.
Okay. Cool. So
sorry.
That's really where we're at, and it's like kind of a tiring week because it's almost like, can anything else go wrong? Yes. Yes, it can. So.
But that was my phone. Yeah. What's going on, Tommy Bernard and Ashley Norman? I didn't say hello to you personally. And Soda Free Entertainment here. And Shamrock Pixie.
And Des. Hey.
So, yeah, but it's the end of the year. Christmas is in 1 week. So, like, for you resellers out there, like, the last push, I guess, to make sure that somebody can get it before Christmas is really Saturday. So, and our sales have been slow. We've been selling the heck out of cameras, but cell phones, we're, like, not selling a whole lot of. I've been doing a lot of individual deals with some bulk buyers that I have, but not a lot of other stuff. So, yep. And but yeah, anybody got any questions? How's everybody doing out there?
How are y'all doing? I hope your week's going better than ours.
Yeah,
it's been a rough week.
Yes, so it hadn't gone up. I think we've got Whitney got some stuff listed today. And then I got 25 cameras listed yesterday. Well, I didn't get 20. I got 25 cameras prepped, and then Wally got them listed. But it's crazy how many cameras. Like, I'm going to need to make sure that next year cameras that we have more, because I think we have around 200 and something cameras listed, but we've been selling between 8 and 12 a day for about the last week. So cameras sell well for Christmas presents. And I'm not even talking about like new cameras. I'm talking about like old cameras, like 4 megapixel cameras, like 8 megapixel cameras like this. Like, they're all selling. So if y'all pick them up this year, they will sell well during the Christmas time. They'll probably sell well throughout the whole year. But we've been selling a lot of them. That's like I don't even know what the sell-through rate on that is. A lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
A lot. So it does.
I know Lisa says that Christmas seems off to her. Tons of merch all left in stores. Don't see people buying as much, it seems. And I agree with you. I mean, for one, you know, Joe and I are fairly minimalistic in nature. Whitney's phone. Whitney. Whitney's, if y'all heard that, Whitney
was bypassing Google Lock on some phones, and you got to go through some menus.
Yeah.
And you got to turn the accessibility mode where that's like the lady talking to you. So.
But yeah, that's what that was. But we're fairly minimalistic in nature. We don't like to collect a lot of stuff. And you know, one of the things I asked for my parents, for my children, is experiences. So we already have like a zoo membership. There's like a museum of discovery in this area. And it's just really important that, you know, we can spend time with our kids and that we can do things. And so, you know, it might have something to do with that, you know, that a lot of the younger people, they're not as into as much stuff. And that's just a theory. That's no like heavily researched. It's just something that I've been thinking about.
It will be different as our age group gets older. That it's going to be different. Buying trends are changing, especially used goods. And I think we talked about it a little bit last week. So not to refresh from last week, but it's buying trends are changing. And there's a lot more uncertainty now. I know the economy has never been as well. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's never has been, because like during like the roaring 50s, it was different. But that was like wartime economy after World War II. But now we're different. So economy's booming, but still people, especially millennials and centennials, which are like 22, 23 and under. They're totally different than millennials. So it's going to be very interesting to see over the next 15, 20 years how, I mean, even as it's starting now, how the different buying trends continue, and how it changes, and whether I think, the best bet would be, the people who are going to come out, the resellers who will come out on top, or retail people are be the ones who can adapt and change to the times. So
what's up, Reseller King?
And food delivery is, especially if you are in more densely populated areas, we don't like to cook. Our generation, I'd say, doesn't really like to cook. It just takes a lot of time.
Those food boxes programs that they have, like Blue Apron and stuff, like they're doing really well right now too. So I guess that might be all around the meal. Honestly and truthfully, when I talk to people my age about like the biggest struggle, it's grocery shopping, it's meal prepping, it's food, because everybody wants to eat healthy, and there's just not, there's fast food is the fastest thing, and a lot of people are not wanting to do that anymore. So all those places, so it's, I don't know, it's just gonna be interesting to see how things change and move from there.
I'm very excited. Like, we're in very exciting times. I'm very conspiracy theorist.
He is a conspiracy theorist. Like,
there's so much that is happening that people are becoming awoken. They're becoming woke. They're awakening.
They're awoken. The Kraken.
They awaken the Kraken. Is that how it goes?
No.
Unleash the Kraken. How does it go?
I don't know, but it's not that.
It's not that. If y'all know what it is, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all smell what I'm
Awaken the Kraken! The Kraken!
And what's going on? The bargain effect, Tommy.
Bargain!
2.0. So,
2.0.
And so, yeah.
We should make a jingle for him.
I'm not a very good jingler. Y'all ever notice how, like, my eyebrows are slanted? Y'all ever notice that? Every time I look, I see myself. I'm like, dang it, I'm not doing this, but like, I'm like,
he just has one eyebrow that is perpetually surprised.
I'm permanently curious.
Also, Reseller King, I want to let you know, thanks for the tag for the 19 questions. We are working on that.
We're gonna do videos separately.
Yeah.
Release the Kraken.
That's
Thank you, Ashley. Yeah. Release it.
No, that obviously doesn't make any sense.
People are becoming whoa. They're waking up.
They're waking up the Kraken.
We're in a weird spot in America. A weird spot.
Mr. Burns, release the hounds.
People are realizing that it's not we the people. We're like in a she probably doesn't want me to go down that road.
I mean, if y'all want him to go down that road, just know that you probably won't get him to shut up. So just giving y'all a fair warning of, like, we can release this Kraken, but like, it's going to get real serious and real weird real quick. So, if you want to keep it light, ask us a question. Ask us a question.
Give me a 1 if you want me to release the Kraken, or 2 if you want to put a lid on it. 3:58. That's an odd time.
That's a weird time to be off work. 3:58.
Yeah. I don't know. So.
Oh no,
Shane! I don't even know who Shane is. Thank you for tuning in. He wants the Kraken. So far, the Krakens are winning.
Thanks, Shane.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all know what you're asking for.
She wants to do it too. She doesn't. She wants me to put a lid on it.
No.
Reseller King, you can't be on the fence.
Twice. You gotta pick one.
You can't be in the middle. You gotta go on one side of the fence.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know what you're asking for.
We can ask specifics.
You just want a little bit. You can't open the door part way. It's like you're either open
because once you go down the rabbit hole and you open that door, there's no coming back, because then you just start to question everything.
I had let me give you an example. I am a doula, and I had a client ask me about folate and folic acid, which is something that is really super. Folate is very important. So I told them, I was like, if you go in, they might give you like a pill for folic acid. I just asked that you would just read about it. Do some research. I didn't tell them anything about it. I just said, hey, you may want to like look that up and read about that. And she was like, okay. So she reads about it and she's like, oh no. And then she starts asking all these questions about these other prenatals. And I'm like, I'm just saying there's information out there. Here's where you start. And I just gave her some articles and now it's like she's wakening the Kraken.
The Kraken has been released in her.
So I'm just saying.
Like, did you know there's jet fuel in cereal? Like, did you know that? It's just under a different name.
Kind of.
It's jet fuel.
It's the preservative. The preservative BHT it keeps the flavor and it helps so that things don't go stale so fast. But it is also a main ingredient in jet fuel. But yes, that's where it started with him. That's where it started with him, and then it's become like the government wants to kill you.
Well, the government wants to kill us.
Well, there's no money in dead people, but there is a lot of money in sick people.
They definitely want us enslaved one way or another. So
I don't know where. We're supposed to be like a wholesome like family flips thing, and now we're like the family flip.
So it's the new year, right? Christmas is coming next Wednesday. And everybody's talking about goals and New Year's resolution. Are they talking about resolutions yet?
Do y'all have a resolution? I never do resolutions. And mostly because
it's like we have goals all the time. Like we went to lunch today and we were talking about we need to get some goals for the new year. Then I'm like, we already do goals all the time. Like we have monthly and quarterly and kind of like yearly goals that we're working towards. I don't know. I just hate doing like the whole, let's get on the fad of everybody's doing new year, new goals. And then
new year, new you.
Come February, everybody's like, I already forgot what my goal was because it was too hard or I messed up. So, but it's the new year. So
there was somebody who said something instead of doing goals to do something else. And I liked it better. I'll have to look that up and let you guys know.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. The thing about New Year's resolutions is a lot of times it's, you're not really dealing with the hard issue inside. Like, it's like a lot of people's New Year's resolution, for example, is like, I want to get fit, and I want to, go to the gym. But then you're not actually, there's like other things. Like, why are you not going to the gym to begin with? Like, how's your diet? Are you well rested? Are you sleeping? There's like, it's like a two or three-fold thing. There's like a lot that goes into being healthy and being fit. It's not simply showing up to the gym every day for 20 minutes. Like, it helps. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but your likelihood to succeed when you're not really dealing with the root issue and you're just dealing with this piece of fruit out here or this branch that has like doesn't have really the fruit that you're looking for, it's because there's a root issue. There's an internal issue. And so I think that when we talk about like when people talk about like in New Year's resolutions getting healthy, you really want to focus on your whole self. Like if you really want to get healthy and be healthier this year than you were last year, don't just go to the gym every 20 minutes. Or do a cleanse, like check your diet, like do some research on how much sugar are you intaking? Are you getting plenty of sleep? How's your mental health? Like, are you taking time for yourself? Are you journaling? Are you reading your Bible? Whatever it is that you need to, get yourself good mentally and spiritually, because all those things, they kind of work together. I know I'm like wielding this like, God, but like if one suffers, the other two are going to suffer as well. Like if you're suffering in your physical health, your mental and spiritual health are going to suffer as well. So working those three things together, instead of just going to the gym, you'll have a better chance of succeeding.
Yep. So it's more than that.
Yes. Our 2020 reselling goals. That's a good question. I mean, how is that different from the goals that we already have? I don't really think that they're that different.
Yep.
I think that the numbers will change and everything. We've got some big projects coming out in 2020 that's going to determine how the rest of the year goes and what we're going to do for the rest of the year. But really, you know, one of the things, some of the big things that we're working for, and I don't even know if it's going to happen in 1 year, is we definitely want to get into replenishables. So with resell, you know, with finding things that people are always going to need and going to need to replenish, and being able to offer those things. So that's a big thing that we want to be able to do. We do want to buy more pallets and do more liquidation. Of course, that's a lot of longer tail items. So making sure that our short tail, quick sale items, that business is solidified, and making sure that we're able to keep those things listed and keep that going to offset, like, you know, those long tail, really good items on that. What else?
I'd say really just consistently every week, like the ultimate goal would be, once we hit like consistently hitting 150 phones per week, like right now we're hitting about 100, and that's just because of sourcing, those types of things. Once we get 150 and then 150 cameras or GPSs a week, like that's like the foundation.
Yeah.
And then that's when I want to start adding on. Like I think goal next year would be to get our Amazon account back.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And start being able to tackle a lot of wholesale things to be able to do with Amazon, because that will open the door up a lot. But I think, you know, it's like we've done, like I know last year, like this year in sales, I think we'll probably finish up around like $225,000 this year in sales. Last year we did $392,000 in sales, and then the year before that we did like 192,000, and then I did like 97,000 the year before that by myself. And I think the year before that is when I started, you know, in the middle of the year doing it. But I think just with 150 cameras and 150 phones, that will probably generate around 250,000 a year in revenue, and which would probably be around $80,000 to $90,000 in profit for that. And that would be a good foundation for us.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, in the past, I've been very guilty of doing too much, trying to, you know, when you're building a house and you're building a multi-story house, like you got to have that first floor, the foundation put together first before building the other floors. And I think, like in my reselling business, in this is I've tried to add on, like make some renovations to the house, and the foundation was never really solidified. So that whenever we started adding on, like the foundation started crumbling
because you couldn't handle the weight of it.
Because we couldn't handle the weight. So
our foundation is very much eBay and the items that he's talking about, like these cameras and GPSs and stuff. So we really can't responsibly add anything else to it until we can build a foundation that is big enough and steady enough to hold up the rest of the other stuff, which would be the pallets and Amazon and all of these other.
Because that's all fun. Yeah. I mean, we can, with the 150 cameras, like if I was able to consistently source 150 cameras a week, which I'm working towards that I could do that in probably around 20 to 25 hours per week. Like because I don't list them. I'm just charging and testing and prepping them. And then we have our virtual assistant who is listing all of those for us, which is a huge time saver to be able to do that. And then Whitney, you know, she does all the phones. Like there's still, you know, a good 15 to 20 hours a week that I'll have, but that's where, you know, YouTube is a big focus for us this year, just because of the opportunities that we have coming in the spring that are going to be a great opportunity for our YouTube channel. And then also for liquidation.
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge, you know, that's a great segue into Reseller King's second question, which is our 2020 YouTube channel goals. And I know a lot of people who have YouTube channels are like, I want this many subscribers. And I really don't think that's the main purpose of this channel. I'm looking for steady and consistent growth by steady and consistent posting and involvement in the community. So really right now, my main goal right now is 3 videos a week. One of them is our Wednesday afternoon lives at 3 p.m. And then I like to do those how-to videos. We do have a lot of knowledge about liquidation and about reselling. And we're still learning. So as we learn things and as we figure things out, we want to share those with everybody. So always having a video at least once a week, except for this week, because
we have problems.
Yeah. But you know, being able to post that and then also having a vlog that kind of shares our experience, because not only do I want to tell you the things that I've learned, I want to experience them with you. So like that's where the flea market booth, you know, vlog is coming into right now, because that's a big focus on, and it's going to determine how we continue reselling in the future. Because if we can make $1,000 a month on the flea market booth, that's going to change everything in terms of whether or not we can buy more pallets and how that looks for sourcing and everything. So when you ask me what my 2020 YouTube channel goals are, it's consistency, being a reliable channel that people can come to for information, being readily available to the reselling community.
Because we have had over the life of our channel, we've had a very bad habit where we'll do videos for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then life happens, and then you won't see us for like 2 months.
Right.
And then we'll start making videos again. We'll kind of like get things situated, and then we'll put out videos every day for like 2 weeks, and then you won't see us. And like that's not who we are. But we realize that we have to be consistent, and and we're still working through those consistent issues, which, you know, regardless of the computers, had we recorded a video last week, then you know, we would have easily had a video for Monday, but we're getting ready for the flea market booth, still trying to work out plans and not really planning
and then
efficiently.
life happens and things happen outside of our control, you know. So, you know, we're still working on it. I will always make sure that we have 1 to 2 videos. I may, you know, but that's my main goal, is I want to be consistent. I want to be a channel that you guys can come to and you can rely on, that we're going to have the information for you and that we're going to do it. And it's hard. It's a struggle because we have so many things that we're juggling, but I want this to be a priority. So that is a big goal for us. Ashley Norman, you asked how far set up is the flea market. We are set up. This is our first full week. So, you know, and I'm vlogging. I don't know
if we sold anything or not.
I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm probably going to go there Friday to stock up for the weekend to see kind of how it went. I did do a vlog setting up the flea market. So if I can get my computers working, y'all pray, send positive vibes, whatever it is that you guys do. And if you can get, if I can get a computer working where I can finish editing, that would be great, because I'd really like to keep you guys updated on that. So yeah, good afternoon, Steampunk. How are you? Hi, Danny May. Oh, Steampunk says that we're their favorite couple of reselling. That means so much. That's awesome.
There's not very many couples out there that resell, are there?
Yeah, but we're the favorite. So we already won. First prize. Who cares what the competition is? We won.
And then Reseller King, we pay 40 cents a listing for our virtual assistant. He is in the Philippines. And some of you might think, that's not very much, Joe. Well, it is. Like 40 cents a listing equates to about $3.50 per listing here in the United States. So it's a lot of money for people in the Philippines. And plus they need work. It's very hard for them to get work in the Philippines. So a lot of them are looking for virtual jobs. So yeah.
Yep. Mr. Jackson says, is it hard profiting $1,000 a week reselling liquidation? It depends.
Answers yes and no.
Yes, it depends. If you can get creative on how first of all, you know, if you're sourcing with how you're going to move those products in mind, that makes it 10 times easier if you're thinking about that on the far end, because a lot of us resellers, we have online platforms. Majority of us on here, obviously, we're on eBay or Amazon or Poshmark or Mercari or something like that. So when we're sourcing those items, we're sourcing them with the intention that we're going to sell them, keeping in mind how much it costs to list, how much it costs to ship, how much it costs to store, so on and so forth. Now, if you're buying liquidation, you don't always know what you're getting because you're buying things in bulk lots. So if you're going to source something, make sure that you know how you're going to move those items. Now, for us, there are a lot of things that, and this is a mistake. I'm telling you this because we made this mistake on the forefront. I'm not telling you this because I just know everything. I'm telling you that I have a storage unit down the street full of stuff that I don't know how to move. And that's what the whole flea market thing is for. We're trying to figure out how to move some of these items, because you'll find yourself when you're buying liquidation and you don't precisely know what you're getting, you're going to find yourself buying things that either are too bulky or too heavy, that it eats your profits and you can't sell them online, or they don't cost enough for you to, like the shipping eats up the cost of the item to begin with. So, I've got boxes and boxes of like really cheap cell phone cases that I could sell for $1 because I paid like 10 cents a piece for them, and make a great profit off of it. But if I were to ship that item and it costs, $3 to ship it, or whatever, I don't know, I just threw out those numbers, but you know what I'm saying, that, I'm not going to make any money off of it at all. So it's not hard to profit $1,000 a week reselling liquidation. You just have to be strategic about it. You have to know what you're getting and how you're going to move those items and what you can expect to profit on the long term.
Yeah, obviously, for that profit, the more money you have, the easier it is to profit more money. It's like a big reason why we purchase truckloads, which we're not doing so now, is because you could get the pallets for about 40% cheaper by ordering a full truckload than you would by ordering like 2 pallets at a time because of the cost of shipping. But obviously with liquidation goods, really depending on, because a lot of times when you buy liquidation, it's going to be a lot of one-off items. It's not going to be a lot of multiple items. Granted, there will be some multiples in there, but a lot of it's going to be a lot of one-off items. So there's a lot of labor that's involved. So, having a team in place, unless you plan on doing it yourself, you're going to have to be very strategic on what you buy. But obviously, the more items you have up for sale, it's going to allow you a better opportunity to get $1,000 profit a week. But it's easily doable, but you have to have the capital to do so. Like liquidation items, they generally, from our experience, from all in all, it has about a 33% sell-through rate, meaning that it's going to take about 3 months for you to sell all of those items. Granted, there's still items that we have listed from a year ago, but we purchased, I don't know, probably the 2 truckloads that we purchased was probably around, 40,000 items. And maybe we probably have around, 1,500, 2,000 items in small box items that we purchased that we probably would have sold already had we had them available for sale, but they've been sitting in storage since April. So you're just going to have more items available, which is more money sitting on the shelf. So you have to have more money to make that type of money. So,
yes. Reseller King says, is there any way you could do a video on virtual assistants?
I wouldn't find one. I wouldn't know how, because he found us. It's I don't know what it is about Filipino people. I mean, she's Filipino.
Be careful what you're saying.
I've had a lot throughout time. They've found me on Facebook. I don't know what it is, but they friend me on Facebook. But I've had several that I've befriended, that I've had do various work for me throughout the years. But this one, he found me, and we just developed a relationship just talking. And then once eBay added the secondary users, I went ahead and hired him then. But he had been working as a virtual assistant for a while for 2 other resellers, doing like some vintage clothes and some other stuff. But he's got some skill. He does really good. He does price comps and everything for us, and they're generally very, very
pretty good at what he
Yeah.
does. It's nice to have that.
Yeah.
So.
But I know you can find them on Upwork. You can find them on, what's the other one? Fiverr.
Fiverr, yeah.
There's different, I know like Filipinos have like a group. The reason I say Filipinos is because they're taught English in school. They know they can read and understand it very well. But there's lots of different people out there, and
you can find them.
Yeah.
I can. Are we friends on Facebook, Reseller King? I don't know. If we are, I could show you the group that I'm in. They're always looking for work, and I think they're all associated with Upwork. So, you could do that. So,
no karate here.
Do either of you happen to know karate? I do not know karate. I do.
My nephew's a black belt. If that counts.
I do know a few moves in. I believe it's taijutsu.
That's how my wrist got hurt.
No, it's not. He was bowling. Don't even let him think that he was that cool. My brother, he did combat. I think it's combat taijutsu, and I had a close call in college with an almost assault, and I had him teach me some things so that if that ever happened again, I could get away. So, and my dad knows a little bit too. So that's about the extent. Like, I'm basically, if you meet me in a dark alley, I could probably get away from you, but I probably wouldn't do that much damage.
My only hope is I would fall on you.
Also, I'm working on my concealed carry, so I also have that, which is a lot stronger than my.
Which in Arkansas you can carry.
You can open carry.
You can open carry here in Arkansas.
But I don't want to go meet somebody on Facebook and be like, hey, let's meet, and then I have this like strap, strapped to me, and I'm like, so concealed carry would probably make me feel better, feel safer.
What's going on, Craig?
What's up? Good afternoon, sir. Are you here for the tea?
I didn't have any tea today. Today's been the day. This week has been the week. If you missed it earlier, I've been in the doctor, the hospitals, for, I don't know, several hours today to get my wrist checked out because I've got tendonitis. They didn't know what was going on with it. And then looks like it's just tendonitis. So I've got to take some steroids. Get on roids for a couple days.
On the roids.
And then my hernia, I had hernia surgery back in September. And it's been acting up. I think the doctor thinks I may have ripped some mesh. It's a little painful.
I'm sorry, Craig, not even a spot of tea. I normally have tea twice a day, especially in the wintertime, because the echinacea and the elderberry tea is very good for upping your immune system.
I bet they don't even understand.
I have not had any today, but I've had plenty of water, and I'm just hoping that'll do for today. Did you understand any of that? Because I didn't. Not even a spot of tea. What? It's fun. Don't. Whatever. Moving on. Next question. I don't know why you had to make it even more awkward.
I don't know. That was the point. That was the point. That wasn't my excited face.
Listen, I know that I act really silly on here, and I just want you to be very aware that whether you're watching or I'm completely by myself, I'm just like this.
My favorite is walking in when she thinks no one's around and she's doing some little...
I gotta work on my dance moves. What? You don't get to do this overnight, you gotta work it.
This is true. Mr. Jackson, our favorite is eBay, because it's the most, for us, the most forgiving. It generates lots of traffic. Obviously, if we were able to redo Amazon, it would probably be a pretty good one of ours. But we can't sell on Amazon because we are suspended.
We got in trouble
for selling used items that were. We had some bogus counterfeit claims. People said they are not people, brand owners that weren't even the actual brand owners filed erroneous counterfeit charges against us. But since they were unmanifested, and even liquidation, it wouldn't even matter if they are manifested. It wasn't approved, so we couldn't prove that they were not counterfeit. So here we are, suspended, I guess, since April of last year.
It's a very unfortunate situation.
But I like eBay. I'm an eBay cheerleader. I don't agree with everything that they do, but they're trying. I think they're going in the right direction. I think if they play their cards right, they can really capitalize and really take it to Amazon. They recently just put out an article about sneakers over $100 not charging not charging selling fees for sneakers over $100, which I think is going to be huge, especially with the amount of people that are in sneakers that are selling sneakers. Is going to be huge with millennials because millennials are all about those sneakers. So I feel like it's going to be huge. So yeah, I have not heard of eBid. I've heard of Prairie Grit and Bonanza, all those other places. I know one thing that we are looking at exploring it's in the works. It's kind of like on the back burner. I don't even know it's on a burner now. It's not even on a burner. It's Shopify.
I would say it's a back burner.
Yeah, it's on the warming pot. But it's a Shopify store just because of what unique opportunities that we have coming, that we do plan on having a Shopify store. We have one now, but there's nothing on there listed. We just have to figure out the kinks in the system of listing items on there in used condition, because there's different integration software that you can use that will cross list all of your eBay listings onto Shopify. So once that starts, it'll probably be February is probably when we'll get that lined out and out of the way.
It's rubber.
It is rubber. So
rubber.
Yeah. But Ubid, I have not any of those. I haven't. And I know, there's lots of other platforms that are out there. But eBay just has the traffic. And for what we sell, it just makes sense to do on eBay just because of what we sell.
Yep.
We don't sell a lot of new stuff. Most of our stuff is used. I think people fail to realize that like 87% of items that are sold on eBay are in new condition. So that's just crazy to fathom. Because in the reselling community, specifically on Facebook, all you really encounter are people that sell used items, and you think of the amount of items that they're selling. And I'm like, man, just to fathom the amount of items that are actually being sold out there that are in new condition, it's crazy. It's crazy to think how much eBay has changed really over the last 7 to 10 years, from being known as an online flea market to, a place that sells. And that's just, you think 87% of $10 billion a year. So, $8.7 billion of used goods or of brand new goods a year. That's still more than all the rest. You think, 1.3 billion in used. I know that market's just going to increase more and more. So it's crazy.
Yeah. That was good.
Did I lose you?
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I ran out of water. Can I have some of your water over there?
No, these are mine. These are my emergency waters.
So if y'all don't mind doing a little thumbs up, we got 27 people watching, which I think is the most that we've ever had watching before.
Oh, look, you scared them away. 26.
I did. I'm sorry.
But we got one thumbs up. Thank you to that person who gave it.
And we appreciate y'all. And a lot of new people. Our channel has been growing. I think we've grown like over 1,000 subscribers over the last 3 or 4 months,
which is cool.
Which has been good. It's kind of like when we started reselling.
Thank you, thumbs up.
Well, we started reselling a long time ago, but when we started doing reselling related, we already had, I think, around 800 subscribers. So like a lot of those subscribers that were before, it's no longer what we were doing before. So we kind of changed. And now it's like, it's kind of like, yes, we do have 2,500 subscribers, but we don't really, because 800 or so of those aren't even resellers and probably don't even watch the channel. I think Soda Free, which was on earlier, he's really the only one from before our reselling content that actually watches the new content now. So, yeah.
And Shane, yes, we will be on the morning show on Friday. I'm glad that's where you found us from. I do enjoy that show, and I enjoy hanging out with all the other resellers. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. So,
yep. And we got about 15 minutes left. What time is it? Yep. We usually, these last for about an hour.
And we try to do that, just, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. And we've got, 10,000 goals that we're trying to reach. So if anyone has any other questions or anything they want to talk about, we would love to chat with you and talk with you about stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think, we were talking about YouTube earlier, just putting out that content, three videos a week guaranteed. And then we have the season. I don't even know how
we're thinking about it.
We have some other content that we're doing.
Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I don't want to change your name. I'm the fourth. I think the two Joshes are pretty content on just having the two of them. I've talked to them. I know they may consider doing some guest appearances on there, but they're pretty content with just the two of them and of doing it. And family traditions, Lisa wants to know.
Oh, family traditions for Christmas. We're still kind of working through those family traditions. Our kids are really young. One thing that I would like to do that we hadn't done in the past is that we do have Christmas at our house, and that because both sides, both of our families, they actually live on the same road. So
like a minute from each other. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've been there since before we even met. So It was just funny that it was that way. But before we were, when our kids were even younger, like we were running from house to house, and some people got Christmas Eve and some people got Christmas. This year, we want to spend adequate amount of time where we're not rushed. So I think the biggest tradition is that we do want to spend Christmas Day at home with our kids and kind of have that family time, but that we also make sure that we give, adequate time to extended family.
Yeah. And we haven't, I started working when I was 14 years old in restaurants, and then started retail when I was 16. And I did restaurants or retail until I was 34. So Christmas time, I was never really about family because I was so busy working either in retail or in a restaurant that it was just work. And I spent the better part of my 20s just working. I mean, I worked all the time. That's all I really knew how to do is work. So even now it's I'm having to mentally get out of that work mode and get into that family mode because I wouldn't say it comes natural because I think that's the way I was created, but a lot of learned behaviors where you get so used to doing things and in routines that you just don't think about it. So we're working on developing some traditions now.
And it's funny because it's with him, that makes sense. Why he has, and I've never been a huge fan of Christmas, but for a completely different reason, which is that, I worked in retail as well. And I was never a huge fan of the materialism. And I was never a huge fan of just the way that people treated. I remember on Christmas Eve, I was a server at this time. I wasn't even in retail at this time. I've done both, but as I was a server, and I actually had to pay to work on Christmas Eve. I worked on Christmas Eve for about 5 or 6 hours, had probably 6 or 7 tables, and not one of them tipped. And I couldn't spend Christmas with my kids. And that really, I think that kind of traumatized me just a little bit, to a point where I was just oh, I just don't even like Christmas anymore. And then after that, I got out of restaurants and I worked in retail, and I had and I get it. There's as somebody who tries to see the other side, I know that there's a lot of negative feelings associated with Christmas, especially if you've experienced loss, or if you've got family that can't or won't be with you for Christmas and things like that. So I try to be super understanding, but there was a part of me that was just year after year after year, feeling like Christmas was a sham because it's supposed to be this joyful, wonderful holiday. Yet year after year after year, I'm experiencing angry, negative people. And because I was in retail or in server, I really feel like it was a lot of that was displaced onto me. Which is why I refuse to shop Black Friday and I refuse to do all those other things. And so I'm trying to work through some of that and realize that people are hurt and they're just going to be hurt, and that that's not my responsibility, but it is my responsibility to be the light and to be counterculture to that. And so this year is actually one of the first years that I actually went shopping for everybody. And that I'm trying not to like in my heart carry anger and resentment, and really make Christmas what it's supposed to be about. And so, because and Lisa, you say a lot of people have forgotten the real reason, and that's true. A lot of people have forgotten the real reason, but then those people have made me forget the real reason as well.
Yeah.
And so that's when you asked us about traditions, like I didn't mean to get super, super deep, but just to be like real and open with you guys, like I never really liked Christmas. But I think that I'm going to change that this year.
Yeah. It was different. Like it's, like she was saying, like, I was 16, I worked at Fred's, and like people are crazy, like working there, like people for Black Friday. I mean, that was like during the time where like people were getting stampeded on and stuff. And then I worked for Walmart and Best Buy for a couple of Black Fridays, and that was crazy. And you just see like, I've never been a real materialistic person. And then you just see people acting crazy to save money on an item. Like it kind of turns you off to the idea of it. And then when I worked in restaurants, when I worked for Cracker Barrel, granted we were closed on Christmas, but we were open on Thanksgiving, and it was like the busiest day of the year, and it sucked. And then when I worked for smaller restaurants, I worked at a hotel for several Christmases and holidays, and I always worked so that my employees could go and have the day off, so that they could do that. And it's because of those, like I've never really. This year I'm excited about Christmas, but I don't think I've been excited about Christmas really since I was very, very young. So it's kind of exciting. And I'm sorry, Ashley, you talked about your grandfather and your grandmother, and that's tough. I'm sorry. I lost my dad, I guess 12 years ago, which that won't be until July, but his birthday's in January. So I know it's during the holidays. You always, for me now, I look at it not really with regret, but he never got to meet my kids, and stuff. So you're like, what would that be like? But then you look at the fond memories that you do have. So it's crazy though. It's just crazy how materialistic we've gotten as a society, and how really hurtful that materialism has got, because then most of the time people are so stressed out during the holidays and shopping that they're mean to people. Then the people who are working just hate their jobs. So it's like there's no Christmas spirit.
Except I went to the Dollar Tree the other day, or today. I went to the Dollar Tree today, and I had to stop and tell this lady how amazing she was, because like this one lady had like come up, and she was checking out, and she was just having a hard time like with payments and all this other stuff. She's like, no problem, no big deal. And then she starts bouncing this ball, and she goes, where did you get that ball? And she goes, oh, well, they're over there in the toy section. And she's like, can I buy a couple of those balls? And like most people are like, oh my gosh, really? Like, I'm just trying to get you out of here. But she was just so, she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Just very sweet. Like, it was just not a big deal. Like, she was just enjoying life. And I looked at her, and I was just like, I was the next person in line, and all of that. And she was just truly happy. Like, she was just truly happy. And I looked at her, and I was just like, thank you for being, who you are, like, just for being such a light and just being so nice and all of that. And she goes, yeah, it's no problem. She's like, I just, want everyone to have a blessed day. And I'm like, that's really awesome. And she wasn't doing anything like crazy. She was just being kind. And like, it just really stuck out to me. And I really appreciated that. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I like to share positive stories.
There's a video that was going around on Facebook. I don't know if any of y'all seen it, about the lady who bought somebody ginger ale
in
the store. And she was just like, I couldn't buy nobody's Starbucks, but I can buy the ginger ale. So she bought the girl ginger ale, and then she went outside and like
feeling the Christmas
she was
spirit.
feeling the Christmas spirit. And there's some man that was washing windows, and she like went and gave him a big hug, and she was just like, "Thank you
for washing my windows."
For washing my windows. And then she realized that it was his car and not her car. So it was hilarious. She was so excited about the Christmas spirit. But he was washing his windows. So just randomly go up to strangers and be like, "Thank you." Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, we got kind of heavy there.
Sorry. I don't know why we got so heavy. Yeah. I apologize.
Y'all ask the question. You never know what you're going to get. Like, we're not asking any more personal questions. No more. Stick to reselling. Only liquidation questions moving forward.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's why we do these Wednesday videos, just so that y'all can know more, and we can get to know more about you guys. So, yep. If you don't have any more questions, we're fixing to hop off of here. So, any more questions before you go? And
that's true.
You might get sued. I don't know.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of offended people. Yes, back to those conspiracy. They're not even conspiracy theories because they're true. It is happening.
It's real.
The corruption of the establishment is being revealed.
Way to go, Lisa. Started it.
It's not. They're not conspiracy theories. It's the truth. People are being awakened to it.
Awakened of the Kraken.
Yes, they've unleashed the Kraken. So awesome. But we appreciate y'all. And if you are watching this on the replay and you have not subscribed to our channel, I'm not sure why you wouldn't just go ahead and hit that subscribe button by now.
We're awesome.
Because it's 56 minutes of us talking.
And you could be a lame-o too. Just like me.
Yeah.
Just like Reseller King. Reseller Man isn't here. Lisa is a lame-o with us. And so I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a lame-o with us.
Yeah. I'm not worried about them, Reseller King. I've got, I don't know. I'm not going to say it, but I appreciate y'all.
We really appreciate you guys.
Yes.
And just so you guys know, next Wednesday is Christmas, so we will not be going live, but we will go live on Thursday, same time. So just so you guys know that. And
same bat channel, same bat time, but different bat day.
Yeah. So we'll schedule it to remind you guys.
Yes.
So you'll know.
Appreciate y'all. Merry Christmas. If we don't talk to any of y'all before then, we appreciate y'all, and be blessed until next time.
Peace. You won't let us end it. Oh, there you go. End it. Boom shakalaka.